is trying to tout this woman as a savior for the black community, but all she's done is hurt the black community since she came into the game. See, the first step in destroying the black community is to dismantle the black family. So aside from her record as a prosecutor, why don't we ask Mrs. Willie Brown if Kamala Harris cares about black families?
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about President Donald Trump holding a rally in Atlanta, Georgia, in the very same venue that Kamala Harris had the twerking rapper on stage just a few days ago. Now, rather than having a twerking, rapping black woman on stage, he had an actual intellectual black woman talking about policies and history and real things that matter truly to the American people. And her name is Michaela Montgomery. Now, you may remember her. I did a video about her a few weeks back because there was another Trump visit to Atlanta where he went to a Chick-fil-A, and you saw a woman right here on the right-hand side giving him a big hug, and it went viral, and she got called all types of names, everything. They called her just, look, everything but a child of God. But she's back, and she has a lot to say. Now, before we go any further, let's get into a few clips here. Of course, I will link to everything in the description. If you're on IG, visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
All came out to see me. So my name is Michaela Montgomery. A lot of you guys know me as the girl from Chick-fil-A, but I am so much more than that. Not only do I serve as the CEO of Conserve the Culture, I am also the state director for Blexit down here in Georgia. I'm a Fulton County coordinator for America First Works, and I'm also launching a podcast on the Patriots Prayer Network, so put some respect on my name.
Now, before we continue, a lot of outlets are referring to her as a conservative activist in an effort to try and discredit her, to make it seem like, oh, she's just a paid person, she'll do whatever, say whatever. Well, you got to actually like what you're doing a little bit to be involved. She could easily be on the other side. She has a great personality. She is very well spoken. She understands the issues. She's sharp, quicker on the feet, quick-witted. She could be on the other side. She's a talented person, but she chose to be on this side. Why? Maybe because she actually believes in what we believe in, and she's not just saying things because somebody may or may not be paying her to say it. But I digress.
Jump right into it. See, as a young single mother, I can tell y'all that rent is too damn high. I can tell you that as a young black voter, groceries are too damn high.
That's right.
And as an American citizen, period, seniors like my parents should never have to choose between medicine or food. It should never be the quality of life versus the quantity of life. And I don't want to hear, oh, but we capped the price of insulin and lowered the price of all these medicines. Yeah, but you raised the price of everything else, so it's about time to start telling the truth to Americans and let them know exactly what they're signing up for if they want to vote for Kamala Harris.
Very, very well said. And we got a few more here. I think her entire speech was about 10 minutes. I'll link to everything in the box. Here you have Trump actually giving her some shine. He had retweeted or retruthed part of her speech, and you see what he says here. Great job by Michaela Montgomery. What a speech. A special person with a fantastic future. And that is right on 100%. People that I know her. I believe I met her one time. Shout out to you, Michaela. Pardon me if I'm not remembering, but I don't want to say the wrong thing. But I've heard a lot of good things about Michaela. I've never heard anything negative at all, ever. So she definitely has a bright future ahead of her. Now, let's hear some more here. And again, I will link to everything in the box so you're able to hear it in full without my commentary. But let's keep on rocking and rolling, shall we?
Getting your feelings about things that have been said, but I want you guys to pay attention to what has been done. They don't want to talk policy. They just want to use propaganda to steal your vote. The left is trying to tout this woman as a savior for the black community, but all she's done is hurt the black community since she came into the game. See, the first step in destroying the black community is to dismantle the black family. So aside from her record as a prosecutor, why don't we ask Mrs. Willie Brown if Kamala Harris cares about black families?
Now, if you don't know what she's referring to, Kamala had an affair with Willie Brown, who at one point was the mayor of San Francisco. Willie Brown, as you heard from Michaela Montgomery, was married. At the time, him and Kamala had their little thing going on. He was in his 60s and she was in her late 20s, early 30s. And the streets say that she got her start in politics through that relationship. He had the connections to be able to get her here and there. And before you know it, she is the Attorney General of California, a Senator of California, the Vice President of the United States, and now running for president. That whole thing jump-started it.
I wonder if Mrs. Willie Brown, a black woman, is also with her.
Great question.
A few days ago, President Trump said he didn't know Vice President Harris was a black woman. I'm trying to figure out what all the outrage is about because she's only black when it's time to get elected. Did I lie?
Sure didn't.
The same black people who are mad at Trump for being confused about her race, ethnicity, nationality, whatever, are seemingly forgetting that while you're touting her as a savior for black people, she identifies as an Asian woman. She chose her side and it wasn't ours.
Let's pause right here. Now, I'm not saying that if you're biracial, multiracial, multicultural, whatever you may identify as, I'm not saying you got to pick a race. Like picking a side, you got to be black, you got to be white. But whatever you decide, be that all the time. Whatever it is, just be that all the time, rather than being black in the public and leaning on that when it comes time to get elected, talking about vote for me. I'm the first black female presidential, not candidate. I'll be the first black female president. You want to campaign on that, but when I see you other times campaigning in previous years, you campaign on something else. So again, whatever it is, just be that all the time. You could be mixed, but be mixed all the time rather than being mixed sometimes and then black sometimes and then Asian other times.
When asked if she would ever do anything specifically for black people, she said no. Whereas Trump gave us the Platinum Plan, which specifically uplifted the black community by increasing capital by almost $500 billion, creating 500,000 new black businesses, and would give black churches the ability to fight for federal resources for their communities.
Now, let's pause here. The Platinum Plan was crazy because Trump was ready to give the community largely 500 billion with a B, 500 billion US American cold hard cash dollars. Now, all that the community had to do was just get this guy in there. All that we needed to do as a nation was to get this guy in there again in 2020. But what happened? Oh, I don't want to vote Trump. He scared me. Oh, I don't want to do that. He's scary. I'm going to vote for the, okay. Now you got this guy. And rather than getting the 500 billion through the Platinum Plan to American citizens, about that same kind of money has gone to the migrants instead. There was a study published, as I close, there was a study published by some Senate Republicans or House Republicans, and they said between summertime of 2022 up until right now, 2024, just about a 2-year period, not even the full 2 years, when the study came out, it might have been about 20 months. But in that period of time, the federales have spent $500 billion on migrants, the same money that we would have gotten. Now, if Trump was still in there and the border was closed off and we were building the wall, we wouldn't spend so much on them. We would spend a fraction of that and have money for American citizens to improve ourselves. Wouldn't that be better than what we got going on right now? I most certainly think so. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Have you heard Michaela Montgomery's speech from the Trump rally in Atlanta, Georgia on Saturday in full, or the pieces I played here? Whatever your thoughts on what she said, or let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. She is most certainly a star, a rock star. From the day that I first saw her with the whole Chick-fil-A thing, and probably before that, Michaela, I knew that, you know, she's going places. She is really going to be somebody. She has a bright future. Unlike the twerking rapper who brought little to nothing to the table other than what she had going on with the singers and the rappers or whatever on stage. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.